Oh my God, you guys. So do you remember Hall and Oates? And Oates? And Oates. Well, maybe that should be blurry Oates, but in any case. I was just so excited though, because I've been watching, well, ABC is the only channel that I really get. NBC comes in sometimes, but I refuse to pay for cable. I'm obstinate like my grandfather. God damn, I paid for the TV set. Why I gotta pay for the channels? But anyway. So I was so excited because I've been watching ABC on and off this week, and I've been seeing previews for the Goldbergs. And this week on the Goldbergs, they're having John Oates on, although here he's just called Oates. And while they might be just saying it's Hall and Oates for marketing and saying it that way, it's kind of a tribute to the fact that they didn't market it that well in the 80s of being called Hall and Oates is what they would have preferred. So I was just really excited about this. Hall and Oates, of course, always gets me all giddy because it just reminds me of my childhood. But anyway, I also wanted to show you some articles that I found regarding this because I think those are interesting too. If you want to talk about reality residue, whether it's reality residue or the fact that they just did not market it the way that they should have in the 80s, just in the sense of that it should have been Daryl Hall and John Oates. Okay, so in any case, the articles that I wanted to show you are the articles. Let's see. Okay. So it says here, John Oates of Hall & Oates will appear on an episode of ABC sitcom The Goldbergs. So already there, it's just Hall & Oates for abbreviation's sake. It might be too because the just the article writer and the headline can only be so long. But I still thought it was interesting because they're still not appearing true to their trademark. And then down the very bottom, you see here Hall & Oates make Halloween dreams come true. They've obviously been on the Goldbergs before. I'm sad I missed that. Hall & Oates. Okay, so we already saw that. Okay. And then Hall & Oates appear on the Goldbergs this week, big 95.95 morning show. So that was back in 2018. Whoa, here he comes, John Oates, to appear on this Wednesday's episode of ABC sitcom. Okay, I think we've already looked through these and exhausted these. Okay, so this is apart from the article where I thought it was kind of more reality residue-y. Actually not reality residue, but this is where they pay tribute to the actual and original marketing. Daryl Hall and John Oates were my favorite musical duo from my childhood and a major part of the soundtrack of my life, Goldberg said. That's Adam Goldberg, the creator of the show, said in a press release. Their songs dominated the 80s while I was growing up in suburban Philadelphia, where both Daryl Hall and John Oates, nice plug, came from. While we have featured their songs and referenced them in previous episodes, we are taking it to the next level this time around as John Oates, who's a fan of the show, is appearing in an episode. We're just thrilled to have him join us. That's nice. And then, of course, it attributes just Oates saying the last quote. The cast was amazing. It all happened so fast, Oates said in an interview with Variety. But, that's article writing. They always just do the last name. I do just the last names in my article writing. So the Hall & Oates Hall of Fame ranking the Daryl Hall and John Oates song of their Hershey concert. So now that's another cool thing too, because again, they're talking about the Hall & Oates Hall of Fame. So what the heck? But even then, it's kind of cool because it's funny, he hasn't aged that much. Oates hasn't aged that much, but I mean, he kind of has if you look at him up close. So he looks different looking, but it's kind of cool. It's like a metaphor for a parallel universe because Oates is older on the Goldbergs. Could you imagine if there was a universe where Daryl Hall and John Oates were aging rock stars in the 80s? I don't know. That kind of stuff just trips me out. Okay, so there's more evidence. So this is for the Halloween appearance. Hall and Oates make Halloween dreams come true tonight in the Goldbergs. They could have put in a Daryl and a John. The article didn't take up that much space. It's already 2 lines. So when you think of Halloween, you don't necessarily think of Daryl Hall and John Oates. But before tonight's episode of ABC's The Goldbergs, you just might. On the episode entitled Mr. Knifey Hands, legendary horror villain Freddy Krueger faces off against Beverly in her dreams. The show's executive producer Adam F. Goldberg persuaded Robert Englund, who played Freddy in Nightmare on Elm Street movies, to reprise his iconic role. And then he tapped his favorite 80s musical acts to set on scene. The Goldbergs, or act to set the scene, sorry. Okay. The Goldbergs is set in the 80s, and Goldberg wanted the perfect song for that era to soundtrack the sequence. He decided on Hall & Oates' smash hit, You Make My Dreams, for the line that goes, on a night when bad dreams become a screamer, when they're messing with the dreamer. In a statement, Goldberg says Hall & Oates were his favorite duo. See? Hall & Oates were his favorite duo growing up in Philadelphia, which is also Daryl and John's hometown. I needed an iconic song to match with the episode, says Goldberg. You Make My Dreams works perfectly into our storyline. So, let's see. So then so perfectly under a storyline, and it's such a great way for me to pay homage to a duo that was part of the soundtrack of my life. So they have that, and then Hall & Oates to appear in the Goldbergs this week. Same thing. Hall & Oates will be heard on Wednesday night's Halloween-themed episode of the Goldberg. So they did that. But then it's kind of funny because they go back here. The clincher was hearing Daryl Hall and John Oates sing. Okay, night. He exclaimed, Hall & Oates were my favorite duo from my childhood. And other than that, this number is the pièce de résistance. This is a number I want you guys to call. I think I've tried to have you guys call it before, but it's really hilarious. I want you guys to call this number and tell me what you pick. It's so cool. But yeah, so, I mean, again, it might just be because it's so deeply ingrained in us that Hall & Oates was like the name of the band, and that's what we all called them, and so they did it for nostalgia's sake. But I would just think contractually, if they wanted to be called that, Daryl Hall and John Oates, then it would be sort of more in their contract. But regardless, I just thought it was kind of a fun, kind of neat thing. And if you're watching it tonight, then it's on tomorrow night. And if you're watching it tomorrow morning, depending on when I post it and depending on when you watch it, then it's on tonight, Wednesday, April 22nd. So it should be interesting. I think the Goldbergs is okay. I mean, sometimes it's funny, and I do like the characters, but it's like, I hate the 80s something thing. It's like, of all the decades, I know the 80s like the back of my hand. And I know that you can't have Walter Mondale having a presidential debate with Ronald Reagan and also have Bob Saget on America's Funniest Home Videos. Those two didn't coincide. Or like, you cannot have New Kids on the Block and the middle daughter, actually no, I think she's the oldest daughter, liking them. And then there's only like a few more years of the 80s to go. You can't have that. It's just all wrong. But in any case, guys, I guess that's about it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you know. And peace out.